fight for survival. A sudden crack echoed through the icefall. Ethan turned just in time to see a massive serac break free and tumble towards them. "Move! Move now!" he shouted, adrenaline surging through his veins. The team scattered, diving for cover as the ice crashed around them. Ethan Granger had always been captivated by mountains. Growing up in a small village nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas, his childhood was spent exploring the rugged terrains and dreaming of summiting the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. His fascination became an obsession, and by the age of 28, Ethan had climbed some of the most treacherous mountains on the planet. But Everest remained the ultimate challenge, a towering giant that beckoned him with its icy peaks and deadly allure. Ethan stood at the base camp of Everest, gazing up at the colossal mountain that loomed above him. The air was thin, and the cold bit through his layers of high-tech clothing. Around him, other climbers prepared for the ascent, their faces etched with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The journey ahead was fraught with danger, but Ethan's resolve was unwavering. He was determined to conquer Everest. The first leg of the journey took them through the Khumbu icefall, a chaotic maze of massive ice pinnacles and deep crevasses. Ethan led his team, consisting of seasoned climbers and Sherpas, navigating the treacherous path with precision. The icefall was a living entity, constantly shifting and groaning under the weight of the glaciers above. Every step was perilous, and the team moved cautiously, aware that one wrong move could be fatal. As they ascended, a sudden crack echoed through the icefall. Ethan turned just in time to see a massive serac break free and tumble towards them. "Move! Move now!" he shouted, adrenaline surging through his veins. The team scattered, diving for cover as the ice crashed around them. When the dust settled, Ethan did a quick head count. Miraculously, everyone was unharmed, but the close call served as a stark reminder of the mountain's unforgiving nature. The higher they climbed, the more challenging the conditions became. The air grew thinner, making every breath a struggle. The temperature plummeted, and fierce winds whipped across the slopes, threatening to tear the climbers from their precarious footholds. Ethan's determination was tested at every turn, but he pressed on, driven by a deep-seated need to conquer the mountain. Days turned into weeks as the team inched their way up the perilous slopes. They reached the South Col, a desolate plateau at 26,000 feet, where they set up their final camp before the summit push. Exhaustion weighed heavily on them, but there was no turning back. The summit was within reach. On the day of the summit attempt, the team set out in the early hours, their headlamps casting eerie beams of light in the darkness. The ascent was grueling, each step an agony as they battled altitude sickness and bone-chilling cold. Ethan's vision blurred, and his limbs felt leaden, but he forced himself to keep moving. He had come too far to fail now. As they neared the summit, the wind picked up, howling like a banshee and threatening to knock them off the mountain. Ethan led the way, his eyes fixed on the peak that seemed tantalizingly close yet impossibly far. The final stretch was the most treacherous, a narrow ridge with sheer drops on either side. One misstep would mean certain death. Ethan's heart pounded in his chest as he took the last few steps. And then, finally, he was there. The summit of Everest. He collapsed to his knees, overwhelmed by a surge of emotion. Tears froze on his cheeks as he looked out at the world spread out below him. He had done it. He had conquered Everest. But the mountain was not done with him yet. As the team celebrated their triumph, a sudden blizzard swept in, reducing visibility to zero. Ethan's euphoria turned to horror as the wind screamed around them, and the temperature plummeted even further. "We need to get down, now," he shouted over the roar of the storm. The descent was a nightmare. The blizzard raged with relentless fury, disorienting the climbers and making every step a battle. Ethan's muscles screamed in protest, but he pushed on, guiding his team through the whiteout conditions. The icefall that had been so treacherous on the ascent was now an even greater peril, its shifting seracs and crevasses hidden by the swirling snow. Hours turned into an eternity as they fought their way down the mountain. Exhaustion gnawed at their resolve, and the cold seeped into their bones. Ethan knew they couldn't last much longer in these conditions. Desperation fueled his movements as he led the team with unwavering determination. Then, just as hope seemed lost, the blizzard began to abate. The wind died down, and the swirling snow settled, revealing the path ahead. The team stumbled into the safety of a lower camp, their bodies battered and minds numb from the ordeal. Ethan collapsed into his tent, his mind reeling from the harrowing experience. They had survived the descent, but the mountain had exacted a heavy toll. As he drifted into an exhausted sleep, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was far from over. The shadow of Everest loomed large, and the true extent of its challenges had yet to be revealed. Ethan's quest was not complete, and the mountain held secrets that would test his strength and resolve like never before. To be continued?